The Chicago Bears, they've made a few moves this offseason, most notably trading the #1 pick to the Panthers for wide receiver DJ Moore. The Bears now have the 9th pick in the draft and are probably looking at defensive tackle, maybe someone like Calijah Kancey, if not Calijah Kancey. Now, I saw a video today talking about the excitement of the Bears' upcoming season, their new additions, mainly DJ Moore, Justin Fields, hopefully he's going to explode next season. I started looking at the comments in this video and all the Bears fans were saying that the playoffs sound reasonable for the Bears next season. Well, if we think the Bears are going to make it into the playoffs, let's look at the NFC North. Do we think the Bears have a chance at winning the NFC North? In my opinion, it's a big fat no. Right now, I feel like the Lions are really strong favorites to win the division. I'm not really sure who's going to come in 2nd or 3rd. I think it can be mixed around and be in any order. But if a team were to take the NFC North from the Lions, I just don't see it being the Bears. Maybe the Packers, maybe the Vikings, most likely the Vikings in my opinion right now, but I just don't see any of these teams really competing with the Lions. Last season, the Bears, Vikings, and Lions were in the bottom 5 teams for points per game allowed, a pretty defenseless division. Now, we've seen the Lions make drastic moves to improve their defense, but we haven't seen that same motion from the Bears and the Vikings. I'm not trying to be a biased asshole because I'm a Lions fan. Before I would pick the Bears to be a contender for the NFC North, I'd like to see some more improvements with their defense, their offensive line. Maybe they get some stuff in the draft, maybe the 1st or 2nd game next season they're looking a lot better, then maybe I'd start thinking about it. So if people think the Bears are going to make the playoffs and they're not going to make the division, well, that means they must make the wild card round. Do you think the Chicago Bears have the ability to make the wild card round next season? Well, offensively, I'm at a maybe. We know Justin Fields has incredible talent. He kept Chicago in a lot of games last season. If the Bears didn't have Justin Fields for a lot of those games aren't even close. However, Justin Fields was the most sacked quarterback last season with 55 sacks, and to me that raises a lot of red flags. The first one and most important one is Justin Fields' health. We know that rushing quarterbacks are a lot more susceptible to injuries, so if Justin Fields gets injured, then I think the Bears season is done. And for the next few seasons too, each season that the Bears still have Justin Fields as their quarterback, if I was a Bears fan, I would be stressing every game, please don't get hurt, please don't get hurt, please don't get hurt. So that leads us to the offensive line. We know a lot of those sacks maybe because Justin Fields tried to escape the pocket, extend the play, and he goes down 1 or 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It counts as a sack, but it's not really a sack. But if the offensive line doesn't improve, Justin Fields is going to have to escape the pocket, not be able to make good throws, and go down and take hits, and every hit is a risk of injury. However, even with the offensive line struggles, the Bears still do have a good amount of offensive talent. The Bears still have tight end Cole Kmet, who showed a lot of growth and really exploded towards the end of last season. The Bears, obviously, as I mentioned before, also have wide receiver DJ Moore, their wide receiver 1, who is absolutely insane. He put up great numbers with Teddy Bridgewater throwing him the ball, Sam Darnold throwing him the ball. So if Fields can lock in his throwing, DJ Moore is going to be a weapon. For a solid wide receiver 2, the Bears have Darnell Mooney. Sadly, he was injured last season and didn't get to play very much, but he's an exceptional wide receiver. And then for the wide receiver 3, the Bears have Chase Claypool. Now, in my opinion, I'm a little bit of a Chase Claypool hater. I think he's a bit overrated. He was average on the Steelers, and then last season when he signed to the Bears, I feel like a lot of people thought that he was going to change the game. Finally, Justin Fields has a wide receiver because Mooney was injured. Claypool's going to change the game. Their offense is going to be really strong, and nothing really changed. Now, that still could just be because the Bears' offensive line struggled. Field didn't have enough time to find Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool isn't good enough at getting open. There's a lot of different factors that go into that, so I'm excited to see how that goes and plays out next season. Nevertheless, Claypool is a solid wide receiver 3. The Bears also recently signed a running back 2, D'Onta Foreman, from the Panthers. The running back room definitely got a little bit weakened when they lost Montgomery. It was unfortunate for them, but they still have 2 solid running backs and Justin Fields, which totally opens up the running game. Then lastly, for the running back number 1, Khalil Herbert, who had a solid second season last year, 730 yards and 4 touchdowns. And obviously his handoff counts are going to go up a ton with the absence of Montgomery. He was a solid RB2 last season, now he's the RB1. Let's see what he can do. So next season, with all this offensive talent, the Bears could be a pretty offensively strong team. However, I think it all depends on Justin Fields. You've seen Justin Fields make great throws, great runs. However, I think the main question up in the air is Justin Fields able to be a consistent passer all season? We've seen him make great throws here and there, but we haven't seen a solid passing season from him yet, and it's understandable because he hasn't had the talent around him. He hasn't had the wide receivers, the protection. But this season, DJ Moore, Mooney, Claypool, 2 strong running backs out of the backfield, hopefully a stronger offensive line, Cole Kmet on the end. You really have no more excuses. If Justin Fields fails as a passer this year, which I don't think he won't, it's going to be rough. But let's say the Bears defense doesn't improve much next season. Does this offense have the capability to bring this team to the wildcard round? They seem to be making a lot of great moves for an offensive rebuild. A solid QB, 2 solid running backs, 3 solid wide receivers, a solid tight end. Looking back to last season, once again, the Bears were 3-12. Going from 3-12 to the wildcard round would be a crazy turnaround. I know the Bears have acquired more talent since last season. They've improved in practice since last season, and a lot of people say that the Bears kind of threw a lot of their games to get a better draft pick. Even if that's true, 3-12. How many more of those games are you realistically going to win? My prediction is that the Bears have a small chance at maybe getting to the wild card round, but I think it's going to take a lot, and I just don't think it's going to happen this year. Maybe the next year, definitely, hopefully in 2 years, the Bears are going to be contenders to make the playoffs, but this year, I just don't see it happening. Now, I think my opinion may contrast with a lot of others because I don't see Justin Fields and the Bears as strong as some people see them. For instance, I saw this on Twitter today and I disagreed with a lot of it. Now, if you agree with this, then you might be a person that thinks the Bears are probably going to go to the playoffs this season. For instance, for the quarterback position, I think it should be the Lions. I think Jared Goff is a more solid, more reliable quarterback right now than Justin Fields. We just haven't seen that level of play from Justin Fields yet through a whole season. And then for the wide receiver room, I think Detroit, maybe even the Vikings as well, have a stronger wide receiver lineup than the Bears. And mainly that's just because I don't think Chase Claypool is that good. Even the running back position, I think the Lions have a stronger backfield than the Packers. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, are they really better than DeAndre Swift and David Montgomery together? In my opinion, no. I think it should look a little bit more like this, but what do I know? I'm just a biased Lions fan. Overall, I think the Bears could do it. They can make a playoff run maybe next year, maybe this year. I don't think so, but it's all going to depend on Justin Fields and the offensive line and the defense. I just saw this post a few hours ago and it's pretty interesting. In 3 to 5 years, Justin Fields will be the blank QB in the NFC. He goes on to talk about that he thinks that in 3 to 5 years, it's probably going to be a battle between Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields for the best QB in the NFC. This post had me thinking. I just looked up top QBs in the NFC and this article came up. It was posted on March 9th, so 20 days ago, and they have Matthew Stafford at 1. What the hell? How? It's obviously Jalen Hurts, right? No one thinks that Matthew Stafford is the best QB in the NFC. And Kyler Murray at 4, I'd honestly bring up, I don't know. I think it's a tough one because there's Derek Carr, Geno Smith. It's a tough one. Anyway, this guy replied and said Cocaine Bear ain't got nothing on the amount of drugs that Bears fan Redditors must take. I thought that was pretty funny. Cocaine Bear was a cursed movie. Anyway, this guy replies, and this is my new rule. I'm only looking at one comment on a post because I could go down a rabbit hole forever just looking at comments and posts, and I'm not going to turn into that type of guy. I'm probably gonna. Anyway, he talks about Justin Fields being top 3, and honestly, I don't think that's too unreasonable. I think Justin Fields could be a top 3, top 4, maybe top 2 QB in the NFC in the next few years. However, this commenter then goes on to talk about that if Justin Fields doesn't perform next year or the next year, eventually he's probably not going to be playing. So that's why I think this year is really important for Justin Fields. I think it's kind of a make it or break it year for him. If Justin Fields has a bad year this year, I don't know 100% if the Bears would actually bench him in his 4th year, but definitely his 5th year they would. Justin Fields has proved himself as a runner. He's proved himself as a playmaker, being able to extend plays, making something out of nothing. He's had some good passes, but there's a few moments last year where he had a silly play, or he kind of threw a bad interception, or the game's on the line and he fucked up. If Justin Fields can solidify himself as a passer this upcoming season, then that's where I would start bringing the Bears into the conversation of, okay, are they going to make the wild card round? And also their defense. Their defense needs to improve a lot. Justin Fields could have a great season next year, and the Bears could only win 6 games if they have no defense. I mean, look at the Lions. Through the first 4 weeks of the season last year, we saw how many points the Lions offense put up, and they only won 1 game. Anyway, I'm excited to see what happens for the Bears next season. Hopefully Justin Fields improves, hopefully he proves himself, hopefully the defense improves, and maybe they could have a shot at the playoffs, but I don't think so. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed my content, I would really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And once again, thanks for watching.